Htp family, you're tuning into the Pro-Black Perspective on KWAZ Radio. Peace, obviously. Today we're going to do again reading the Book of Power. We're going to be on page 81 today, and it's once again Mama Affiong. This is going to be the last one from the preview, but it's going to be a good one. Today I'm going to play the clip. I found the clip and I want to play it for you. You can listen to it, and then we're going to study and analyze it later. If you want to see the clip, you can see it in the chat box here on YouTube. Alright? But otherwise, I'm going to proceed, and then I'll get back to you guys in 4 minutes. But you see it's on Sahara TV. This was released October 11th, 2016. 1,500 views.
We the people, and the vast majority of us sitting in the audience, we the people, the mind is still enslaved. Because to most of us, and forgive me for those of you who are religious, but you know, when we're...
Wait, hold on, let me turn this up for you guys. My TV's gonna talk because...
Volume 36.
Okay, let's go.
And the vast majority of us sitting in the audience, we the people, the mind is still enslaved. Because to most of us, and forgive me for those of you who are religious, but you know, when we're together, we must have the capacity and the audacity to speak truth to each other. Most of us, if we say, paint a picture of God, you know that if you're a Christian, it's a nice old white man with long white hair. And if you're a Muslim, your God looks like an Arab. I'm talking about the psyche. You know, and the psyche is here, in the back of the mind, deeply embedded. Even somebody like me, when I pray, or when I even think, I think in English. That's a disaster. That is trauma. So even I recognize my own trauma. And of course I'm communicating to you in the language of our oppression, which itself is a form of trauma. Very important. Even those of us who are educated, who have degrees, you know, we like to flaunt them. We're very proud and a PhD and this. No. You only have formal education. Being certificated, you know, and you got a certificate from the enemy. Certificated in his own means of education. And you see, the other thing that has happened now, which I think the last speaker touched on, which is a very powerful point. I didn't know this, you know, until a while ago, that history has been removed from the curriculum in Nigeria. That is a disaster that we're even digging the hole deeper for ourselves. Can you imagine our children not knowing about our history? If there's any topic, if there's just one topic that needs to be taught in school, it is history. And then you find the irony and the tragedy that is the very subject that has been removed from the curriculum. That's not a mistake. That's not an oversight. That is a deliberate form of attack on our psyche, on us, and our ability or inability to fight, to stand up for our rights. So these are components of second slavery. But now they have us and our bourgeoisie, our ruling elite, inflicting and unleashing this on us. So then you will ask, oh, but why did they do that? Because they receive 10%. And in terms of solutions, let me say this, that Pan-Africanism is the way forward. Bella was very clear about that. Marcus Garvey was very clear about that. Kwame Nkrumah was very clear about that. All our heroes, Buya Nehanda, Tubman, Mandela, all these people, that it is our forging together as a global nation that will bring us, the victory that we seek. And on a last note, I leave you with this slogan: the people united can never be defeated. The people united can never be defeated. The people united can never be defeated.
Hope you guys heard that. Wonderful, right? So that's Affiong. She's talking at it looks like a FILA debate. It seemingly went well. The good thing about her, though, is you can see the passion in her speech. Now, I want you all to know, I want you to take note that later today, there's going to be a debate between me and Amma Bookman on African spirituality, and hopefully the both of us bring the passion that the subject matter entails. I'm going to write it down in the chat. Debate. I'm up 3 hours actually. I probably should get some food. But alright, so let's go to this right here. Affiong. This is inside the Book of Power, page 81, right? And it's, of course, you know, as usual, I do a preface. So I say, look, matchless brilliance, Mama Affiong, right? Pay attention to how Mama relates the Askari elites and Eurasian education to the demise of Africa. Though she doesn't say it, she captures the solution of Boko Waset Na Keru. So you got to see the glossary, you know? It's as plain as day that you need your Keru, your educated elites, your conscious magnates to run the show. This is very important. You know, I want to stress this, that you need the magnates to be conscious, because the magnates are going to run the show regardless. You understand? And we were talking about this yesterday. Yeah, yesterday in the Urugu discussion. So if you didn't hear the Urugu panel, please go and check that out as well. But in the Urugu panel, we were discussing how Plato sets up academies, and every intellectual on the planet goes through his academies. Now, maybe not the Orientals anymore, maybe not the Asians anymore, maybe not the so on and so forth, but the African elites, as well as the European elites, go to the same university, and they're pushed onto this same European consciousness. You see? They're pushed onto this European consciousness, and because of this European consciousness, they are going to destroy the people. And I go on and read that more. But Eurasians have their Eurasian educated Askari elite running your show. See? The Eurasian educated. Education is so critical. Education is so important. That's one of the things that we are lacking in as a people. That's one of the things that when we go to Africa, or when we are in Africa, right, we are developing the mindset of our people. And this is one of the reasons why the Book of Power is even available. Because you have to understand that if you're going into a battlefield, if you're going into war, if you're going into any sort of conflict, right, you have to have some training first. Sorry. I shouldn't say you have to. You don't have to have training. But if you expect to win, you should have training. If you expect to win, you should have training. This is the way of war. Even Machiavelli, Machiavelli, right? I think that's his name, Nikolai Machiavelli, right? I actually don't know his name. But this dude, white boy, he's breaking down how to develop armies. And he's like, look, the first thing is first you recruit them, but then you go through training with them. After you train them, you arm them, right? Or arm and then train them. But regardless, the reality is that there is some sort of training before you set them off into the battlefield. This Book of Power is the training this is the basic training that you would want our people to go into the battlefield with. So you have to put it onto yourself as well. Okay? Whether or not you want to be on the battlefield or not, and you should be on the battlefield. We need people on the front line. If you're going to be on the front line, or if you want people to be on the front line, you have to understand the basic training. So that you could tell them, hey, look, you know what? You need to get on the front line. Here's the basic training. Because without that, what you will have is you'll have the other people on their own front line with their own basic training. You see? Eurasian educated Askari elite running your show. And what do? They take out our story from the school. See, I don't say his story too much. You understand? Because that means it's his story. I say our story. You understand? Or even their story. But our story. Alright? They take out our story from the schools, and our story is so critical. Our story is so critical. And you're gonna hear about this later on today. All right. So later on today, you're gonna well, hopefully you tune into the debate, and I'm gonna have to break down some our story for you guys. Because if we're really about unity, if we're really about, the people united can never be defeated, right? How we go about that unity is having to understand what unity means historically, or historically, right? Well, let's go. Mama delivered this speech at a Fila event, hence the emphasis on him. But she's so brilliant, and there's so much you can learn from her. She's a true pre-Boko organizer for African people. See, they're stages. We're in the pre-Boko stage. She's a pre-Boko organizer for African people. And it's upon you to surpass this clarity and make comparable Africans universal in our nation. That means that you have to have greater understanding than this Queen Mother, right? You have to have greater understanding than her. That's not going to be easy, right? And but understand that the goal of us as people is to excel. All right, is to try to advance to where we best were, right? Try to advance to some sort of freedom, and this sort of mentality could be more widespread. It doesn't have to be the rare gem of Affiong. It could be regular thing in a new Africa. So let us work together to build this new Africa, and that's what I would say about that. But let's go into the speech. If anybody's in here, welcome. Cheers. Bitter Medicine's in the building. It says peace, fam. So that's a good thing, right? Let's go into this, right? And peace, Bitter Medicine. I've been preparing for my debates recently, so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get my debate ready. Let's go. And the vast majority of us sitting in the audience, we the people, the mind is still enslaved, because to most of us, and forgive me for those of you who are a-spiritualists, and notice I changed the words. I don't say religious, I say a-spiritualist. I don't say the Wazungu God. I say, for white folk, I would just put Most High. Although for us, I would say Amon. I change up the language. Like history, I don't say history, I say our story. Why? Because it's critical for us, because like I said, the clarity has to be there for us in the future. For us in the future, the clarity has to be there. So instead of white people, I say Western Eurasians. Instead of Europeans, I say Western Eurasians. Instead of Arabs, I say Central Eurasians. It's a I'm still speaking English, of course, but you make these conscious changes so that people understand what's really going on. You understand? The Arab and the white man are not different people. The Arab and the European are not different people. The Chinese man is not really a different person from the European. Oh, that was actually one of the critiques I should have put on yesterday. But they're not different people. They're all Eurasians. You understand? And you're an African. They're all not you. And that's what you have to understand. And you might say, well, that sounds a little bit like the Wazungu, the other and the us. Yeah, I mean, look, possibly. But at some point, we have to we have to indulge the reality that if we're to win, we have to know what we're going to win against. We have to know what we're going to win against. If we're just winning against the European, we are going to be flanked. You understand? Because when the ancient Africans were complaining about Asiatics, they were not talking about Europeans. Europeans couldn't make it. They were talking about these Central Eurasians, these Arabs. You understand? Western Europe is close and far from Africa. Okay? There are places in Eurasia that are closer to Africa. But, we'll talk about that another time, I guess. But let's go. And the vast majority of us sitting in the mind is still enslaved because of most of us, forgive me for those of you who are a-spiritualists, but when we are together, we must have the capacity and the audacity to speak truth to each other. Okay? Most of us, if you say, paint a picture of the Most High, you know that if you are a Western a-spiritualist, or a Christian, your painting looks like a happy old Western Eurasian with young Eurasian hair. You understand? And understand that the Eurasians have different hair from us. We got kinky hair. They got straight. And if you are a Central a-spiritualist, your painting looks like a Central Eurasian. I'm talking about your psyche, and the psyche is here in the back of the mind, deeply embedded. Even somebody like me, and I want you to understand this too. You see, when she says you paint a picture, there's this speaker, I always forget his name, but he says, look, part of the reason why these religions exist, these white people's religions exist, is to make white people seem divine. And I spoke about this yesterday, but I'll repeat it again. If you are a people with your own divinity, with your own spiritual system, right? And your spiritual system looks like you, right? Somebody who comes out not looking like you can't be divine. Or they can't tell you, oh, they are a symbol of divinity. Why can't they tell you that? Because you know what divinity looks like. I think it was Razzcast in The Nature of the Threat. He says, you know, they painted pictures of, they made it white picture. He painted pictures of white Jesus so that they can put white people closer to God. You understand? They can put white people closer to God, because when you are now looking for, and I don't use that word God really, but when you're looking for the Most High, right, if you will, and again, that's also in the Eurasian thinking pattern, but when you're looking for the Most High, right, the image, let's say if the image is a Western Eurasian, or a Eurasian of any type, if the image is a Eurasian of any type, and you're not a Eurasian, then that means that the Eurasian is closer to divinity than you are. That was the whole point. And see, it's fine for them. They should represent themselves to be divine according to their own sense of belief. Or they did that on purpose. If you know about Ram, then you know what I'm talking about. But you know that the fact that they once upon a time had, you know, African divinities, and they purposely changed it because of the same problem. And now they changed it for you, and you, not knowing the same damn problem, went along with it. Anyway, she goes, even somebody like me, when I pray or when I even think, I think in English. You know? And I mean, that's one of my problems right there, obviously. But I don't really know any of the languages. So, you know, it is what it is. That is a disaster. That is trauma. So even I recognize my own trauma. And of course, I'm communicating to you in the language of our oppression, which itself is a form of trauma. You know, at some point, I'm telling you, I want to learn this. I want to learn Swahili. I want to translate this book. Okay? So, there you have it. Even those of us who are educated, who have degrees, we like to flaunt them. We're very proud. I'm a PhD, I'm this. No. You only have formal education. You got a certificate from the enemy, certificated in his own means of education. You know, I used to dislike well, not dislike, but there used to be people in the conscious circle who would try to break down the word educate. And they would say edu, and Kate, and basically, I don't remember it because I wasn't really paying attention. But it's something like, oh, to draw out knowledge or something like that, you know? To take knowledge from, I don't know. But the point being that, you know, yeah, you only got a certificate from the enemy. You got a certificate from the enemy, and what this means is this, right? I'll tell you, because you got to go back to your college papers, right? You got to go back to your college papers, particularly your liberal arts classes, all right? When I was in college, I found some of my old papers. One of my papers is so embarrassing. You know, you got my name on it. You know, you got Oni, whatever, right? And it shows. You know, the question is, how can feminism become more widespread? You know, as you know, technology advances or something like that, right? How can you know? And you got me like, well, we could go online, and you know, we could go online and spread the message of feminism. Basically, whatever you see these feminists doing right now. That's what I was telling them to do. You understand? Made me a snitch. Made me a strategist for a negative cause, but that's the only way I would have gotten an A. I got an A. So then they certified, yeah, this motherfucker's a coon. He'll be good. He'll be good at cooning. That was a certificate to certify that I would have been good to serve the enemy. Now, good for me, I was able to, you know, find some, black organizations, some real black organizations. I used to be in some other camps. Found some good black organizations and, looked around, read around, spiritualized myself and got out of that. But I'm telling you, the certificate is certification that you can think and serve them. You can think like and serve for them. That's what it is. Now, I advise that we develop our own educational system so that we can certify that our people can think like and serve for our interests. But we don't have that. A brother asked me, Baka Mobile, you know him, good brother, asked me, he said, look, how do you know if somebody's a Scotty? And I said, look, you ain't gonna figure that out. You understand? You ain't certifying nobody. You ain't certifying anybody. Anybody can walk up to you and say, hey, you know what, I'm a Pan-African Nationalist. And you gotta take it at face value. You gotta take it at face value. They say, oh yeah, I'm a Pan-African Nationalist. You know that. You don't know. Where's that certification? You understand? See, the white boy, you can't just walk up to the no hospital and say, I'm a doctor. I mean, there was some brother who tried that. Then he got locked up. You understand? They were like, oh wait, let me see your certification. Somebody was saying, look, if you want to work at a chain, a chain restaurant or whatever, they're gonna call up your references. Hey, is this person certified? You gotta put down. See, sometimes we be asking our family members to put us up as references, which is fine, right? It's fine, all right. But see, white people, when they say the reference thing, they really want you to put up a white person. Say, hey, is this Negro? Is this a radical? Is this a revolutionary? Is this a good boy? That's what they want. Now, because now if you don't know the white people, that's fine. But a lot of times you get a white person who say, you know what, you're a good guy. That's what happened to me. When I was trying to go to grad school, I had a sociologist professor. I wrote some sociology paper, good paper, talking about different forms of capital, blah blah blah. Good form, good. It was I want to say neo-socialism. You know what I'm saying? It was like some next level, right? The white boy read it. He was like, oh man, it's good. You know what? If you want to go submit to grad school, if you want to go to grad school, I got you on the recommendation, on the referral. You understand? These people, you going by referrals. The certificate is a referral from the enemy. That's what it is. I got a PhD. Okay, you were referred from the enemy to teach the enemy's ways. That's what it means. That's all it means. Now, I'm not saying you can't learn nothing, but what I'm telling you is that you're gonna learn something. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't learn nothing, but you're gonna learn something. And it might not be exactly what they're teaching. This is why I say, look. So I told a brother, matter of fact, if you bring up the tweet that I gave to Baka, I said, look, if I want to know somebody's Scotty, I will rate them higher when they read the Book of Power. Because see, when you read the Book of Power, you get all this information. When you don't read the Book of Power, I don't know where the information's from. I don't. For all I know, you're sitting down with Tariq Nasheed. I don't know. For all I know, you reading books of this or that person. Now, I don't want to say any names, but you already know. You might be reading some evolutionary literature. I don't know. See, now if you read the Book of Power, I know what you read, and I say, oh, okay, this person, if you read it through, shit, you understand? Now I'm not gonna blanketly say, oh, you read the Book of Power, you read it. I mean, because like I said, if I blanketly say that, anybody could just say, oh, yeah, I read it. Nah, let me quiz you. Let me sit you down. And of course, I mean, even if I say that, quiz you, like I said, there's a way to counteract anything I say. You understand? If you determined you could pass a quiz and still be an enemy. Okay? If you determined. So I'm not going to say exactly what it takes, but what I'm going to tell you is that, yes, if you read this book, then yeah, you on the next level. You and I can closer. We closer. Because a lot of you say, oh yeah, man, I mean, because like I said, you could just read your Ruger. That's fine. But I don't know what Like, I don't know what your ambition is after that. I mean, look, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna finish Rugu, and we're gonna go into it. But otherwise, just understand that, yeah, there's a difference. Or destruction of black civilization. I don't know. Like destruction of black civilization. I can say that, for instance. You read destruction of black civilization because I finished that, right? You might read that and you want to build a nationalist organization in America. I don't want that. I don't need that. But see, that's what's outlined inside Destruction of Black Civilization. It's a good book. You got a good sense of knowledge, but you might be trying to build a nation in the middle of another nation. And it's just not necessarily that tactical. Let's keep going. The other thing that has happened recently, which is a very powerful point, I didn't know this until a while ago. History has been removed from the curriculum in Nigeria. That's a terrible disaster. We are digging a hole deeper for ourselves. Can you imagine our children not knowing about our history? If there is just one topic that needs to be taught in school, it is history. Then you find the irony and tragedy that is the very subject that has been removed from the curriculum. That's not a mistake. That's not an oversight. That's a deliberate form of an attack on our psyche, on us, and our ability, our inability to fight, to stand up for our right. This is a continent of second slavery. But now they have us and our bourgeoisie, our ruling elite, inflicting and unleashing this on us. So you ask why they would do that? Because they received 10%. You understand? Now, I'm assuming she's saying, look, they got paid. They got paid off for removing, or let's say the money saved, they got 10% of that money. I don't know. But the point being, but I want to say, look, they remove history. Yeah, of course. See, I guess you could say Malcolm X said, of all disciplines, history is most qualified to reward our research. I would even go, anthropology is part of that history. All right? What history can inform... Now here's the trouble, right? I'm actually surprised I kept the word history. But anyway, did I keep the word history? I should have edited that. My bad. But what about our story that we understand is that our story tells you who you're against. You understand? Who did what to who? What was their motivation? And what could you do about it? What would you do about it? What should you do about it? Because sometimes if you learn about a defeat, you learn what not to do. You understand? When you learn about a defeat, you learn what not to do. If I tell you, hey, you know what, I was fighting this android. Okay, I was fighting this android, and I shot it in its gut, right? And it just kept walking towards me, right? Then but now if I wrote that down and then the android kills me, look here, I'm not going to shoot this android in its gut. This gut is protected. You understand? That's what our story is. It's telling you, victories and defeats in war. You understand? And if you know the victories and you know the defeats, like if I tell you, hey, look, when I shot it in the head, it fell, dead. Now you are informed on what to do. Because now when you meet your android for the first time, you're not going to shoot it in the gut, you're going to shoot it in the head. You understand? Or for those of you who might be nerds, the back of the neck. the back of the neck or something. You understand? But you have to understand that, when you take away history, right? You take away the resistance. You take away the fight. You take away the knowledge of what to do, what not to do. You'll take away history, and then, like for instance, right now you see in Nigeria, right? Because this is after, I guess. Everybody in Nigeria is like, you know what? Let's go back to small city states. Let's go back to the ethnic tribe states. Let's, screw the national agenda. Let's go back to the small states, right? Instead of saying, hey, what worked? They're saying, you know what? Let's just try something that we probably didn't try already. But you already tried that, and it didn't work. But you don't know that because you don't study history. Because sometimes when I say that, I mean that you know, there are obvious solutions that your ancestors already tried out. You know, like let's go back to the discussion we have at Bit of Medicine, matter of fact. So make sure y'all check that out too. When the Bit of Medicine podcast, we discussed Tanzania and Nkrumah and Nyerere, right? And you know, Nkrumah has an idea, and Nyerere has an idea, and Nyerere's idea goes further than Nkrumah's. So you know that historically, if you're trying to figure out what to do based off of a historical analysis, you will try to do what Nyerere was trying to do. But instead, what we're doing right now is we're skipping over this history, this important history, and we're trying to do what Nkrumah said, even though Nkrumah couldn't do it. Let's keep going. And in terms of solutions, let me say this: Pan-Africanism is the way forward. Oh, actually, I do want to highlight this because of 10%. You know, if you're, this is what I want you to understand. I want you to understand this. Take this and take this. You know, if somebody else is paying your leadership, right, you're being misled. If somebody else is financing your leadership, you're being misled. If you're financing your leadership, that's fine. You're being led. You're paying somebody for their services. Okay? But if someone else is financing your leadership, you are being misled. This is something that this is why I said, look, you gotta read the book. If you're not reading the book, right? Nah, I ain't gonna trust you. I ain't gonna trust you. Cause I already know you go to like recently there was this debate, my song and I can't remember her name, Tamika something. I think Tamika Dave. I don't know. But Tamika Mallory, yeah. So when Tamika Mallory comes out with this advertisement for Chevy, you know, Chevy, and then there's some debate, and you know, real talk. I'll be honest with you. The socialists were on the wrong. You know, my song is like, hey, shouldn't we get paid to be like I think they were complaining about how Al Sharpton got paid in his own organization, you know, to be a civil rights leader, and it's like, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. If you're the leader, you're supposed to get paid. Duh. Right? But people were complaining, why are you going to do money? And why don't you work for free? And you know, oh, you might have bills, but who cares? You know, and my son's like, look, we should have blah, blah. But, you know, I don't really see the relation insofar as Chevrolet is concerned. You understand? Chevrolet giving her millions, that's different. But that's really where it comes down to. Like I'm telling you that, because a lot of black folk I would respect otherwise. We're saying, no, you shouldn't have any money if you're a leader. No, you shouldn't get paid if you're a leader, not from your own organization. That's stupid. A lot of people you would respect. But that's what I'm trying to tell you, that if you do not have the basic training, if you don't go through the program or the reading, if you don't go through that, then no, I don't want you on the battlefield next to me. You're probably gonna shoot me. If I tell you, hey, you know what, I need to get some of this. I need some of this. I need some of this cash. You know, I gotta pay my mortgage, right? You're gonna say, oh no, you're a whole capitalist bourgeoisie pig. No, I ain't no capitalist bourgeoisie pig. I didn't pay this mortgage. Stupid. That's what I need to do. You want me to be in a freaking tent? For what? Come on. You have to understand that if the people are not engaged in the same ideology, the same objective than you, then you cannot have them by your side, because time after time they'll betray you. They will betray you. This isn't guessing. It's not guesswork. They might bring some white boy right there. You like, you know, this white boy's a professional, blah blah blah. Like, I don't care if the white boy's certified by the enemy too. Stupid. And it's like, it's fine. It's fine if that's what you want. If that's what you want, but that's not what I want. That's what I'm saying. That's not what I want. What I'm looking for is for Africa to be the leading power on the planet. And it can be done. But I'm telling you, if you want to be a part of that, you got to go read the book. All right? That's it. Period. So let's go. In terms of solutions, let me say this. Pan-Africanism is the way forward. Fela was very clear about that. Marcus Garvey was very clear about that. The misogynist Kwame Nkrumah was very clear about that. All of our heroes from Mbuya, Nehanda to Philae, all these people were clear that it is our fortune together as a global nation that will bring us the victory that we seek. And on that note, I leave you with this slogan: the people united can never be defeated. 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 Ashe. Yeah. So, alright, thank you so much, family, for tuning in to this reading of the Book of Power. Next week we're gonna jump into you even know. So next week we're gonna jump into Dessalines, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. Woohoo! Dessalines. Alright, so there's not gonna be recording for Dessalines, obviously. But that's what we'll be doing. What else can I say is later today at 3 o'clock we're going to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? We're going to be doing a debate. Me and I'm a bookman on African spirituality. Hopefully it goes perfectly well. I believe I'm gonna have my camera on, so that's gonna be fun. But otherwise, thank you so much for listening, and I'll hear from you later. Of course, give me some feedback. Give me some feedback and let me know what you think about just reading through and all that kind of stuff, and how you're engaging this Book of Power. I see a lot more reviews, and a lot more ratings, and I appreciate that. So keep that coming as well. But thank you so much for listening, and of course, as always, Shem Em Hotel.